Time now for your forecast first. WRBL News 3 First Alert Weather.
Well, we've had clouds and a little bit of sun. As we look at our satellite and radar, clouds are holding on tight. Showers are mainly towards our east. Temperatures are sitting in the 50s to even 60s. We're at 63 degrees in Eufaula and 62 right here in Columbus. Looking at your day part forecast, we will warm up. We're getting into the low 70s as we head into this afternoon, again with clouds and a few peaks of sun. I'll have your 7-day forecast in 15 minutes, but you're watching WRBL News 3 on your side.
Straight ahead, the trial of the former Minnesota police officer who says she mistook her gun for a taser when she shot and killed a motorist is winding down. We'll have the latest. Next, authorities are still on the hunt for a suspect who they say injured a sheriff's deputy while fleeing a traffic stop. Plus, funeral arrangements are made for 5-year-old Kamari Holland, whose life tragically ended on Monday.
On your side, this is News 3 Midday.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for trusting News 3. I'm Teresa Whitaker. We begin in Minnesota, where prosecutors have rested their case against former police officer Kim Potter, who's charged in the shooting death of 20-year-old Dante Wright. It's now the defense's turn, and Potter's attorneys have said she will take the stand. Potter has said she meant to draw her taser instead of her handgun while attempting to stop Wright from trying to drive away while officers sought to arrest him. Prosecutors have said Potter was experienced and trained to know better. The defense has called the shooting a horrific mistake. And now in Columbus, authorities still looking for the person who struck a Muskogee County Sheriff's deputy while attempting to flee from police. Sheriff Greg Countryman says 2 of his deputies were attempting to stop a suspect driving a stolen car at the intersection of Tony Drive and Wilshire Street around 7:45 last night. The suspect suddenly put his car in reverse, striking a sheriff's car. Suspect then fled the scene, striking the deputy in front of him in the leg. Both deputies fired shots at the suspect's car, which is described as a gray 2021 Honda Accord with a Georgia license plate. The suspect still on the loose. Sheriff Countryman says the injured deputy was taken to the hospital and is expected to be okay. Keeping our eye on Columbus, police continuing their investigation into the brutal killing of 5-year-old Kamari Holland. Investigators returned to a house on Bowman Street in Columbus yesterday evening, which is the last place the young victim reportedly went missing in the early morning hours of Monday, December 13th. Her body was found later that night at an abandoned house on 15th Avenue in Phoenix City. Meanwhile, the man charged with capital murder in connection with Holland's death, 37-year-old Jeremy Williams, has a history of arrests, but no convictions that News 3 could find. He was charged with aggravated child abuse in Russell County in 2009 after allegedly immersing a 3-year-old boy in boiling water. A jury acquitted him of that crime in 2012. Williams was arrested again back in August in Columbus and charged with simple battery and third-degree cruelty to children. A report alleges a minor child witnessed Williams slap his wife in the face. Williams entered a not guilty plea in state court just last week. His wife did not ask for a stay-away order. Here's what Russell County Sheriff Heath Taylor said in a Tuesday news conference before the gag order was put into place.
He has several involvements in his past with children. He has a couple of cases where he was actually charged with abuse of children in Phoenix City or here by a sheriff's office here in 2009, and then he was acquitted by a jury in 12 of that case, and then he has been charged in Columbus as well of abuse of a child.
There are ongoing investigations into Holland's murder in Columbus and Russell County. Sheriff Taylor did not rule out additional charges. Funeral arrangements for Kamari have been announced as well. A viewing is scheduled for 3 to 5 p.m. on Tuesday, December 21st at Taylor Funeral Home in Phoenix City. There will be a private family viewing prior to the public viewing. The funeral will be held at 11 a.m. On Wednesday, December 22nd, also at the funeral home, Adrian Davis, a cousin of Kamari's father, Corey Holland, has set up a GoFundMe to help cover funeral costs for Kamari's father, who is the legal guardian. She spoke with News 3 Wednesday afternoon.
Very difficult time. It's been very difficult. Corey is basically beside himself. It's the reason why we're basically out trying to take care of everything for him. So
far, the GoFundMe has raised almost $10,000 of the $15,000 goal. A link to donate is available on our website at WRBL.com. Before heading to the break, we want to thank you again for trusting News 3. Coming up, several Midwest states are working to rebuild after a windstorm with gusts over 100 miles an hour. We have video of the aftermath, but first, Nicole is taking a look at our forecast.
Yeah, so we've had some clouds, but we're still warming up. Temperatures in the 60s now, middle 60s in Eufaula. Your day planner coming up in about 10 minutes. While you're in the break, don't forget to download the weather app, turn on the notifications so you can stay connected.
On your side, you're watching WRBL News 3 Midday.
One of the strongest windstorms in years blew up across the Great Plains yesterday, causing significant damage in several states in the Midwest. Mola Lingi is in Heartland, Minnesota with the latest.
The small town of Heartland took a direct hit overnight, with downed light poles and a bank building made of bricks reduced to rubble after powerful winds swept through Minnesota Wednesday.
We got power flashes.
Storm chasers captured this video of an apparent tornado in Iowa as hundreds of thousands of people lost power across the Midwest, with wind gusts reaching into the triple digits.
Oh, there it goes.
The wind caused the wall of this fire-damaged grocery store to collapse and destroyed this Iowa farmhouse, one of a number damaged in the state.
We were in the basement. Power went out, so we had to just run downstairs. It was really fast.
Another flip semi.
Also in Iowa, this semi-truck blown over by the high winds, blocking traffic and trapping a driver inside.
Did you call 911 already?
In Nebraska, a state trooper's dash cam caught the moment when another truck overturned. The winds sheared the roof off this airport building in Missouri and led to nearly whiteout conditions on this road in Kansas. In Dodge City, more than 100 miles west of Wichita, wind gusts hit 84 miles an hour, uprooting trees, overturning heavy playground equipment, and leaving an apartment complex in tatters.
According to the National Weather Service, the fact that these weather events, are happening all at once and in the month of December in particular can be called abnormal. At least one expert says climate change is partially fueling these events. Molulengi, CBS News, Heartland, Minnesota.
You're watching News 3 Midday. Nicole is keeping an eye on the conditions outside for us.
Well, our forecast here has actually been pretty calm and will stay that way for Friday. But I am tracking that same cold front that will be coming in on this weekend. Your forecast coming up after the break.
Hurt by a big truck? 1-800-CALL-KEN.
One call, that's all.
On your side, meteorologist Nicole Phillips has your first alert forecast.
Well, it's a little bit gloomy as we take a look out at Phoenix City Amphitheater, but occasionally we do see a little bit of sun. That will continue off and on as we go into this afternoon. It will be nice as our temperatures do warm up. So right now we're sitting in the 60s, 63 degrees here in Columbus, 66 down in Eufaula, and 64 in Fort Gaines. So here's a look at some of that cloud cover. Most of the showers have remained just to our east, but Butler, maybe even America, has had a stray shower or sprinkle, especially earlier this morning. Clouds will continue to lift up towards the north, and it will have more clouds coming in on Friday as well. We'll still warm up. Main reason why is because we're out ahead of this front, and this is the same front that brought all of the wind and even severe weather in the Great Plains and up into the upper Midwest. Here, once it gets here, it will weaken, but we'll still have our chance for some rain by Saturday. So until then, we're in the 70s, 72 degrees by 3 p.m. Most of us in the upper 60s to low to a few middle 70s. The further south you go, the better chance you do have in seeing the middle 70s. All of us, though, have a better chance of seeing that on Friday. So looking at this weekend, we will have a front that will be moving on through. A little bit of sun as we look towards about Saturday morning, 8 a.m. Then some showers off towards our west. Most of that starting to move in as we head into about Saturday afternoon. And you can see this line here extending all the way down into Alabama and all the way up towards Atlanta, pulling off towards the east and just kind of blooming right over us. So if you've got any outdoor activities on Saturday, or maybe you're going to be finishing up Christmas shopping, you're going to want to pay close attention to this. You're going to need the rain gear for that. That will be moving off towards the east, and we'll still be left over with some showers as we go into Saturday evening and into early Sunday morning. But by Sunday afternoon, things will really start to clear up. So 77 degrees on Friday. Here's the deal about Friday. We have a record that's 79 degrees. That was set back in 1984. So we're going to get pretty close. 75 on Saturday. Behind that front, we're down to 60 degrees on Sunday, and then in the upper 50s as we start next week. Winter begins on Tuesday. We'll be at 59 degrees with a chance for a few showers. And then we're right back up into the low to middle 60s on Wednesday. Teresa?
All right, thank you so much, Nicole. Fasten your seatbelts. The TSA says one of the busiest travel times of the year is coming.
on your side. You're watching WRBL News 3 Midday.
We're keeping our eye on consumer news for you. Today, President Biden is signing a bill to increase the debt limit. Congress approved the $2.5 trillion legislation early yesterday. The vote came just shy of a deadline set by Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen to avoid an unprecedented national default. The increase will allow the nation to continue to meet its financial obligations through at least early 2023. Pack your patience. The TSA is warning of busy days ahead this holiday season. The administration says Thursday, December 23rd through Monday, January 3rd will be among the busiest days this year. During the Thanksgiving travel season, the agency screened nearly 21 million passengers, which was about 89% of pre-pandemic levels. Okay, get this. Kraft wants to pay customers not to buy its Philadelphia cream cheese for dessert this year. The company doesn't want people baking cheesecakes this holiday season while the country is facing a cream cheese shortage, which it blames on supply chain issues. As an incentive, on Friday and Saturday, 18,000 people can sign up at spreadthefeeling.com, and those who do forego the holiday tradition can submit a receipt showing you bought a different dessert, and hey, you can get up to 20 bucks back from Kraft. That is a look at today's consumer news. Nicole's going to have a final check of your forecast after the break.
On your side, you're watching WRBL News 3 Midday.
As we approach International Women's Month in March, News 3 is recognizing the contributions women are making to our nation and local communities. Keep the nominations coming in. Remarkable Women is part of a nationwide Next Our Media effort to honor the influence that women have had on public policy, social progress, and quality of life. Nominees will be accepted now through December 31st. To fill out the nomination, it's really easy. Just go to our website and fill out the nomination form. All right, Nicole, now here with a final look at our forecast.
All right, so today we're going to see clouds and a few peaks of sun. We're still getting to the low 70s, then 77 on Friday. We've got a front moving in on Saturday, giving us a chance for showers and thunderstorms, and behind it will cool down. Can you believe it? The first day of winter is Tuesday, and we'll be at 59 degrees. That's actually where we should be for this time of the year. And then we're going to warm right on back up by Wednesday of next week.
I promise you, I'm looking at this forecast and I saw your graphic for Tuesday, and for a second I was like, oh my God, we're going to get snow.
No, I thought of that this morning. I was like, I hope no one gets confused by this.
I want, because you know how much I want snow.
I know.
Just flurries, it doesn't have to stick at all. Just give me some flurries. Anyway, thank you so much, Nicole, and thank you at home for watching. We'll see you back here at 5/4 Central for News 3 First Edition. Until then, folks, get out. Have a safe and pleasant afternoon.